Well, I'd now like to welcome Stef back on stage to update us on our business pillar.
Thank you very much indeed. Am I on? Yeah, I'm on, thank you. I'd like to thank Steve again, because Steve was not very well last night. Gerald Vernon-Jackson is at a personal appointment with his husband, John. So Steve stood in for Gerald, and then Steve went down with a tummy bug. So it's great that he's made it here today, and I thank him very much indeed. Okay, I talked earlier about the fact this is about us and not about me. This is about the breadth and strength of the organisation I've got, and the 10 wonderful non-exec directors who give their time voluntarily. You met one earlier who is absolutely my square peg in my square hole for our education and skills portfolio. The next non-exec director, which I would like to welcome to the stage, actually helps us with our business strategy. And I cannot have a better person, better skilled, better motivated than Jane Lemaire to come and join me to present our business programmes. That's yours.
It always worries me when you're nice to me.
Well, it doesn't happen that often, does it, though? Let's be fair. Jane, congratulations on your new job middle of last year. You combined the economic department with your skills department. It's a big and important role. How's it going?
Really well, and a really logical mix for us. So very much bringing together the broader economic development, that support for our unemployed that Steve was kindly referred to earlier, our adult education and our skills piece, and putting that right next to the business support side that we do, everything from our enterprise centres to our lovely business support team that we've got down there. So a really good mix for us.
Yeah, fantastic, thank you. Okay, so before we start about the Shaping Portsmouth business programmes, Jane's going to talk about the business, our digital resilience, which is the kind of cyber programme, and our workplace health and wellbeing. I'll talk about the others. I just want to give a plug to the Hampshire Chamber of Commerce's Portsmouth Business Week that's coming up in February. This is the third time we've run it. I think the first time was virtual. Is that right, Aaron? First time was virtual? This is the second time in face-to-face and whatever. There is a multitude of events going on over the week, and I just really urge you to look up the website and go and attend some of them. Mark Waldron and the team are running a Facebook Live event every morning, and that's to have a host of really brilliant speakers, doing that event as well. So if you need to talk to Aaron Butts or any of the Chamber team, but please look up the website. It's going to be a fantastic week, and our apprenticeship bus, as you know, is going to be sort of doing it at the time. Okay, so I want to start with crowdfunder. I know Sue Johnson's here, and welcome, Sue. Sue walked into my office about 4 years ago and said, I've got an idea, because I've been working with other councils about this thing called crowdfund. So with the great support of Gerald and Steve, the then Mark Pembleton, we've actually launched it, and 3.5 years later, 318 projects and over £800,000 raised through that programme, and I think that deserves its own round of applause. I am delighted to say that the council have renewed that contract with Sue and the team for another year. We will continue through Marcus Wilson's programme leadership to run regular clinics. And if any of you have been to one of the crowdfunder clinics, you know the value you get out of it. We want to actually show you just some, and I know one or two of the people who are beneficiaries are in the room, just some of the projects. So don't go away thinking it has to be something very large. With the greatest respect to these projects, it can be relatively straightforward and very simple. So the total raised is actually in the column there, and what effectively has been pledged by the crowd is the next one in. So again, if you know any micro business or not so micro who wants to actually try and raise money for a really sterling project, please think of Crowdfund Portsmouth, and either Marcus from my team or Joe from your team.
Yeah. Yep, Joe.
Yeah, indeed, Joe from
waving in the corner.
Absolutely. So Jane, if you can, if you will click over. Have you run out of batteries? Let me come round. Am I out of range? There you go.
Excellent.
So you're going to talk about Start Up and Thrive, and cyber, and health and wellbeing.
No problem. So Start Up and Thrive is probably our most well-known programme. Unfortunately, David Patterson, who is our programme lead for this, isn't in the room today, but he puts an enormous amount of time in to offer this programme that pulls together our businesses. So we are supported by a lot of our partners and patrons within this, but it's very much about reaching our broader business community. We have regular meetings, and this last year has seen a real increase on the uptake as we've gone out into the community. And one meeting that really springs to mind is the one that we had at the Corner Collective in Albert Road, where it got to a standing room only as we packed out that, reaching a really broad part of our business community, bringing them together and hopefully offering some support, promoting things like the business support that comes out of the economic development team at the council, but all of the partners that we work with to make sure that our businesses are accessing every bit of support they can so that we can thrive during these more challenging times. We've also got, so he's already moved on. So my thanks to David and the team that work up on Start Up and Thrive. We are amazing in shaping Portsmouth with the level of support that we get from our volunteers. And again, Lisa does some incredible work here within the business digital resilience. I know Stef occasionally rolls up his face a little bit at the name here, but because it is a difficult one, but it does what it says on the tin. And looking at cybercrime and how we survive as businesses, as a team, Lisa has got together with everyone and provided free resources. It's about coming together, about understanding the problem, facing those challenges and making sure that our businesses are safe and robust as we move forward. Some really incredible work that comes out of there, some fantastic free resources that are there, training for our smaller organisations and those in the charity sector, because when we're talking about businesses at Shaping, that includes our voluntary and community sector, it includes cultural sector, it's any sort of business. We are all working together, and that is what we are all about. So we've got free tools there. Oh, he's ever so pacey. Our workplace health and wellbeing, I think if we were all very aware of it before, but COVID has really brought home the need for us to consider our wellbeing. And you'll see that on some of the business resources that come out from Start Up and Thrive, but we have Rachel who's just taken over this work, and we're really looking at what our businesses want, how we can signpost everyone to the support that is out there, and how we can fill any gaps, so that we as Shaping Portsmouth are doing our very best to support you as businesses and all of the businesses across the city, very much focusing on the transforming Portsmouth together.
Thank you very much indeed. So if you can sum up now as we go into 2023, what we are trying to do with those three teams around that business support package, please.
So as we move through this year, it's very much about trying to work smarter, not harder. We are a team of volunteers. We use a lot of the incredible services that are out there. It's great to see. I know we've got Business South colleagues in the room. We have the lovely Rachel from Solent LEP. We have all the different organisations like FSB, Hampshire Chamber of Commerce, that are also there to support businesses. We all work together, along with the local authority, to get the support and to highlight where there are opportunities for our businesses. This next year is going to be very much about pulling the three communities together, as well as the other parts of our business pillar, to make sure that our businesses have the most support in place. We know it's going to be a challenging year. We know cost of living isn't just about individuals, it's also about businesses. And it's how we can pull that together to make sure that we are meeting your needs and that we are driven by what our businesses need to increase the social value we have in the city, to increase those shortened supply chains, and to get the very best service and provision for our businesses.
Jane, thank you very much indeed. I've left two of the most exciting business programs to last. And the first one I want to talk about involves every one of these organisations. If Shaping stands for anything, it stands for partnership, it stands for communication, It stands for the very work that everybody wants to get done, but no one organisation owns the whole thing, and that's where we come together. And our cruise passenger programme is going to be one of the most exciting, one of the most profitable, and one of the most rewarding things we've ever done. And I'm delighted, if you look across that set of logos, we have got every single major player to actually take advantage of this opportunity. The importance of taking advantage of the ever-increasing number of cruise ships coming into our port cannot be underestimated. Every cruise ship that stops here is worth somewhere between 1.2 and 1.5 million pounds per ship. And if you've got 136 of them in the next couple of years coming here, that is an awful lot of money that we want to take. We have no disrespect at all to other venues in Stonehenge, the New Forest, London, or whatever else. But our region has some of the world-class venues, both in our city and around our city. And for the very first time, we are running a regional programme with regional partners and not just PO1, PO6. But we also have a crew strategy, because for every 2,000 passengers, there's about 1,800 crew. So we really need to focus on their euros and their dollars as well, and not just the passengers. Last year in November, a major breakthrough that the shore excursion companies, who are the kingmakers in terms of the tours that happen, actually came and met 35 of our venues, and I know a number of those are in the room today. Never before have we managed to convince the shore excursion companies that we have a consolidated, coordinated offering, and that event at the D-Day Story was absolutely amazing. I sat in some of the tables, and what the shore company was doing with people like Tony from the Spinnaker Tower was actually starting to sort of put together an itinerary of a visit. We could go here, there, and there, and there. It was absolutely brilliant. The other thing that we've done is co-join two of our programs, the Portsmouth Ambassador Programme and the Cruise Programme. We've started to meet most of the ships that now dock here. And we have our ambassadors who are meeting them, and some of them in the language of the European passenger getting off. I cannot tell you the value that that programme is having and the effect it's having on the European passenger when they come back and say what a great place Portsmouth is and how welcoming they were. So that's a great piece of work. She's not here today, but Sarah Bell started this journey for us, and she had to move on to other things last year and give up her voluntary role. Sarah has left Kate and Pat, our two programme leads, a great legacy. The last thing I want to talk about is, in June, there is a ship coming here called The World. There are about 200 passengers and about 280 crew. This is the ship that never actually stops anywhere for too long. So these are packed full of very, very rich people, and they're going to be here for 3 days. And we already now are working with the designated shore excursion company, and we want to put on a show over 2 nights and 3 days so that that ship comes back year after year after year. But if cruise wasn't, so exciting, this one is. So this is our Business Climate Action Group, made up of 47 of you, who want to do something about the air quality and the carbon footprint we create. We businesses create 40% of the carbon that we're putting into our city's air, and we are doing something about it. We've broken into 3 projects, and again, most of those subgroup people are in the room. One of them is data analysis and best practice. How do we know we're making a difference year on year if we're not measuring it with a legitimate data source? And what one person has decided to do, the other person doesn't know how to do. So let's get the best practice out to them. My sincere thanks to Matthew, Amy, and the South Western Railway team, who have funded additional hours for a shaping staff to run the Carbon Calculator project. The Carbon Calculator project is fairly simple, where you calculate your mileage across your employee range, your energy, whether it's in kilowatt hours or in cost, and it actually tells you what your carbon footprint is. We hope by the end of March to have 100 companies completed the calculator, and we will work on that. The calculator ends up looking like this. You then put all your data in, and then what happens is it actually tells you your A to G rating. And it also then compares you to a like-minded, like-sized, same industry company, because you've got drop-down menus where you put in your industry, your size, and whatever. So you'll know where you sit against your peer group. So the Business Climate Action Group and the Carbon Calculator project within it is fantastic. And if I go back one, the final project is our communications project. We've got to get all of this data and all this information, all this help out to you. So the comms team are building a strategy around how we get all of this to you and how you can have a one-stop shop to get this information and actually tell us your news as well. So yes, it's going to be a website. Yes, it's going to be social media. And on February the 22nd, the 47 companies are coming back together to see the output of those. This is going to be a game changer for our city, and I'm very proud that Shaping is leading the way. Jane, that's what we've done so far. I've got the oak tree there. You know why it depicts our strength. Can you wrap us up, please?
Strength and growth. That's what he's gone for with the oak tree. I don't think he's saying it looks like me. But very much the message that we want to get across is, first of all, there are loads of our amazing volunteers in the room. There are loads of our partners, patrons who provide those volunteers. But if you want to get involved, we have a programme for you. For us, as we move forward, it is about inclusivity, it's about inclusive growth, it's about supporting a lot of this wonderful work that you've heard about already and are still going to hear about in the rest of the conference. It's about strength in partnership, it's about us promoting all of the amazing things that are happening in the city, all of the opportunities for our businesses and partnership and how we can work together. It is all about continuing that Start Up and Thrive programme, making it more efficient, making it more accessible, moving around the city to engage with more and more of our businesses and to ensure that we embed all of those amazing programmes through it so that together we are transforming Portsmouth.
Indeed. Jane, thank you very much indeed for joining me today. Thank you. I just want to go back because I forgot to look down at my notes. Carl Peet works for Exo Energy, and Carl has built this tool for us. And I just want to say, in his own time as a volunteer, and again, I want to say thank you to Carl, because without this tool, the benefit would not be as great. So thank you very much indeed. And for me at the moment, that's me done. Thank you.
Thank you, Stef.